Started.
So we're starting this a little bit differently today. We've just been blessed with a lot of rain last night, and here in the UAE, when it rains, it pours down. And to me, you either subscribe to one of two categories. You think to yourself, oh shoot, that means there's going to be loads of puddles. You know, that's water. I haven't trained my horse in water. She's going to be spooky. I'm going to have trouble with it. And you're a bit worried and disappointed that you've got an issue to work with. Or you subscribe to the other group of equestrians that really gets excited when there's something new that potentially can spook your horse or give your horse a bit of trouble, because you think to yourself, hey, what a beautiful opportunity to do some training. And I don't know, maybe I'm stupid or crazy, or I love adrenaline, but I really enjoy it when we find things that potentially can give a horse trouble. That's a training opportunity for me. That's an opportunity for me to, hopefully she'll have a problem with it, right? And it's an opportunity for me to build my bond with my horse even a little bit more than before, gain more confidence in her, get her to trust me more as a leader, you know, because typically with these puddles, what happens is, you know, horses, they can't really judge depth very well. So when they see a puddle, it could be 10 meters deep in their mind. And, you know, they're all about survival. So they're not going to take risks and step into a puddle without really testing the whole thing first, and without it being an absolute necessity. So hopefully she'll be able to give up, well, number one, I hope she's got an issue with it. Number two, I forget what number two is, but number two, I don't know. That's all right. And pretty much she's been resting for the past probably 2 days. I've had some other business to take care of. Haven't had a chance to come and see her. So I really don't know what she's going to be like today. Probably a little fresh, do a little bit of a warm-up with her, and then probably take her towards those big puddles in the arena and work her there. But today's a preparation. It's probably one of my last rides on her, unfortunately, because I am going to be giving her back to the owner tomorrow. But I decided that we weren't going to do it in a normal way, where I'm going to just shove her in a trailer, drive her 100 kilometers to her home, and then hand her over. Because I've driven that route a few times, and really all I could see, even though it's along a highway, it's about 100 kilometers straight along a highway. Alongside that highway, there's you know, a lot of sand, and almost like a trail or a track that the horse can easily go on. And I thought to myself, well, how about we trailer her for about 50 or 60 kilometers and get her within 50 or 40 kilometers of her new home, and then take her out the trailer, get on her back and ride her for 40 or 50k and hand her over in style. You know, for me it's a, come here baby. For me it's a pleasure to spend time with her and to really get her on a really long ride. And for her, it's just a wonderful opportunity to get a lot of miles underneath her belt, you know. It's probably going to be a bit of hard work, a bit of shock to the system, but that's what her life is going to be like. She's going to have qualifiers for 40 kilometers. She's going to do 2 of those, then she's going to do 2 qualifiers at 80 kilometers, and then she'll be ready to go into the races. So I'm going to give her an introduction to those long rides, hopefully tomorrow, at a nice pace. Bit of trot, bit of canter, and a lot of walking. So a bit of a sad day for me. It's going to be a sadder day tomorrow whenever I give her back. But I'm good friends with the owner, so he's become like a brother to me. So she'll never be too far away. So it's kind of good. After a couple of days being stuck in her stable, I haven't done anything with her, I haven't done any lunging. And she's just willing to walk with a really soft mouth, soft neck. So for me right now, no red flags. Her eyes are soft, her movement's quite mellow and relaxed and chilled. She's willing to cross over her hind legs both ways. To me, that really gives me the go-ahead to get on. Let's just do this up one more hole. Still pretty loose. I really like it. Once we've saddled them a few times and I get comfortable with the horses, I try not to put my saddle on so tight. So really, you've still got a lot of give in that girth. Anyway, let's see how she is getting on. Perfect. Very nice. So she's in no hurry to go anywhere. And neither am I. Very good. So I can see there's a nice big puddle on the other side of the arena. But before we do anything like that, and hopefully today I will be able to go outside. There's probably going to be water all over the place, so I need to just warm her up here a little bit and then make sure that she's got no issues with water, and then I'll be good enough to go. So let's just start. I'm going to start with exactly the same exercise I was just doing on the ground, which is basically a nice soft circle at the walk. So she noticed camels over there. I can see a hump and a head. I didn't even notice that, but she noticed that immediately. So when her head went up and her ears perked up and looked in that direction, I just looked in that direction and saw the camels. If she didn't indicate that to me, I wouldn't have known. So it's important. Actually, horses can help you navigate the landscape a little bit. So here she's not as relaxed as she was before. Her attention's on the camels. That means I can tell because her body gets a bit stiff, her head goes up, and she gets a little bit stiff on my hands. There we go. So the camels have now passed. She's gone back to being super relaxed. Good. Getting her to get really soft. Asking her to yield those hindquarters a little bit more. Okay. Let's give it a go. Start at the trot. So this is my go-to warm-up exercise, to be honest. She's really not feeling too bad this morning. She's doing all right. Anytime I feel her pull against my hand, I don't jerk, I don't yank, and I don't pull. What I try to do is just bump, bump. So it doesn't actually hurt her mouth, but it applies a bit of pressure, makes it a little bit uncomfortable for her to pull against my hand. Bump, bump. Change hands. Okay, now I'm going to start doing figures of 8. Always using my sight as my initial cue. So when I'm looking in the direction that I want her to go, subtly my body is also adjusting and she's feeling those adjustments. Then I go with my reins and my legs. And over time, give it a little bit of time. If I'm consistent, then I won't really have to do much with my legs. I won't have to do much with my hands. And she'll just follow those cues. So lots and lots of left and right. Left and right. There was another video that I did, something about feel. And sometimes, you know, the way that the horse is acting is because of the way that it is and the level of education that it's got, the level of trust, level of respect that it's got, level of understanding. But also sometimes, even if a horse is trying to learn something, the rider or the trainer could interfere in a very, very negative way if you don't understand feel. So here, even though she's a little bit I don't know what the word is, green at how she responds to my reins, like she puts her head up sometimes, she puts her head down sometimes, she tries to be a little bit over responsive to my rein cues. For me, I have to ask myself first, is that because of me or is it because of her and she just needs more and more work? So it makes me very conscious of how I apply that pressure. So if you watch my hands, there's no fast, jerky movements. The pressure is constantly just building up, and she's got plenty of opportunity for, you know, to actually see that my hand is going to make contact with the rein and that the rein is going to make contact with her mouth. So she's not being surprised by any of these requests that I'm giving her. So to me, it just means that I need to keep going until she gets a little bit better before we stop this exercise. She just needs a little bit more work. And nothing's ever going to be perfect. That's why if you don't have patience as a horseman, you can still be a horseman, but it's just not a very good one, in my opinion. Starting to blow out. Starting to relax. Good girl. No overreactions to my hands there. Good girl. All right, so that was a nice little warm-up for her. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to go over there towards the water. Now, before I start to do anything, before I introduce anything to my horse, I've got to have some kind of overall game plan, overall strategy. I've got to have a response for every possible reaction I get from her, right? So, scenario number one, I walk towards the water, she just gently and smoothly walks through. Great, I don't have to do a damn thing. Scenario number two, more likely scenario, is that I start walking towards her, I start her to feel a little bit wobbly, I start to feel that uncertainty come out of her. Okay, I keep walking until she makes a decision that she wants to stop, or she wants to turn to the left or to the right, or suck back and run backwards. Do whatever it is that she wants. That would give me an indication that she does not want to go into the water. So what do I do then? Do I kick her and try to get her straight into the water? Do I force her? Do I have a whip ready? What do I do? So I've got to have some kind of a game plan. So I would be thinking to myself, okay, pressure and release. How do we work on pressure and release in this scenario? Well, pressure means hard work. Release means relax and do nothing, right? So I'm going to use that opportunity. You know, there are many, many ways of doing this, but for this particular opportunity, I'm going to be probably working on my turns. Okay, so instead of trying to go straight into the, let's call it the lake, okay, instead of trying to go straight into the lake, I'm going to use that lake as a cue, an aid to help me with the turning. So every time I turn, I'm going to turn her into the lake and then go parallel to the lake, turn her into the lake, go parallel to the lake, turn her in, turn her in, turn her in. Always into the lake. I'm not going to turn her away from the lake because then she'll just keep escaping, getting further and further away. My mind is not going to be focused on my target, on my goal, which is to get into the lake. It's going to be more on, okay, switch gears completely. Psychologically, mentally, I'm thinking of working on turns. And then we're going to work, 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 work. If she even touches the water, or maybe at some point I decide to stop her and rest her, I'm going to rest her facing directly at the water, okay? And then I'm going to ask her just to walk. I'm not going to say walk straight. I'm just going to say walk. She's going to choose. She might go left, she might go right. If she does that, I go straight back to the exercise. Hard work, turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, all into the scary object, which is in this scenario is the lake. And then again, once I want to rest her, she's going to rest directly facing it. Keep in mind that you've got to have belief in the overall process, okay? Don't get frustrated with minimal results, even if you do this for 10, 15 minutes, because these results are going to be exponential, i.e., for the first 20 minutes, she may only take one step. After that, after she's taken one step, I guarantee you it'll snowball and she'll have all 4 feet in the water without any issue. So it comes all at once, or, you know, it's very difficult to get it bit by bit by bit by bit. It's going to be hard work, hard work, hard work, and then all of a sudden, boosh, she's just going to find out that, you know, the water is actually a pretty nice thing to be around. Okay, so let's see which scenario we're going to come up with here. So I'm just letting, now she's walking off to the left. I'm gonna turn her right. I'm gonna be a bit careful because it's a bit slippery. So here she's going right, I'm gonna turn her left. She's going left, I'm gonna turn her right. So immediately my game plan is coming into play. Whoop. Okay, there we go. Maybe a good idea is to get the camera over on that side so you can actually see what she's doing. Whoop. Okay, so there's the lake. Here's where her footsteps are. If I ask her to go, she does not choose to go into the lake, right? So I'm gonna just keep turning. Keep turning. See how she sucks back there away from that lake? That's fine by me. Walk, 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 turn. Go that way. Walk, 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 turn. Go that way. Walk, 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 turn. Go that way. There, she takes an interest. She takes an interest. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So obviously, the issue wasn't so big in her mind. She was just doubting whether she should go in there or not. Because obviously, if I'm giving her the option of either stand still here in a safe space where you know exactly where your feet are, or take a step into an unknown, which is this puddle, which could be 10 meters deep in her mind, she's obviously going to choose to stay in the thing that she knows. But we've done so much work with her on, you know, making the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. I think she just put 2 and 2 together there. And thought to herself, you know, well, what if I approach this thing that I'm scared of? What happens then? Well, we stop that exercise. And you get to just a walk. Please don't roll. None of that, please. Thank you so much. Excellent. Now, just to reinforce this idea, I'm actually going to take her out of the water now, and we're going to do a couple of minutes of those circles, or those figures of 8. Figures of 8. Figures of 8. Just got to be a little bit careful with this mud. Some areas here are a little bit slippery. So she's already feeling stiff again. So what does that mean? That means I need to go back and do some work. And this is the life of a trainer. You don't just do an exercise once and that's the end of it. So right now my mind has gone off the lake. It's back on this exercise. I want her to get soft, have some nice cadence in her trot. She also needs to forget about that lake. So I'm going to hold her here until she softens a little bit. Still don't like it. That's a bit better. Okay. Now we've got her. Well done, baby. That's it. But we are probably going to have a rocket of a ride outside today. But I'm going to let her stretch her legs out today. A nice long ride in preparation for tomorrow. Okay, now we're just gonna walk her. And make this place the nice place to be. Good girl. Let's do that again, because I need to reinforce the fact that puddles and water are nothing to be afraid of. In fact, you're going to get a nice bit of relaxation in that water. So let's go. Okay, this is nice. Well done, girl. See this? Immediately she gives me some nice cadence, nice rhythm. She's soft, her head is quite low. Okay, this side a little bit stiff. Just gonna wait. Good girl. So, no need to do much there. And why did I not do a lot more there or as much as I did the last time? Because I don't need to. The concept is there. That's a little bit harder work than this. The only reason I did it for a longer period there is because it wasn't feeling good. So I didn't want to stop the exercise when she was do something, you know, at 50% of what she should be doing. I want it to be at least 80, 90%. And the second time I took her there, she felt 80% pretty much immediately. So, good girl. So for me, that's good enough. I'm gonna have to bid you farewell because I can't really take you out on the trail with me. Maybe someday I'll have enough money to have a driver and a truck and a film crew to follow me into the desert, but for today, maybe you can forgive me, and hopefully you've got a little bit of information or tips on how to work your horses around a scary object. This wasn't the most extreme situation, but still gives you the idea. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.